everybody on this new way of having meetings. Just lovely, huh?
Yeah.
Well, can everybody get a copy of the March 10th meeting minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. If you just take a minute to review those, if anybody has any comments or anything they'd like to add, I'm glad to hear it. If not, I just need a motion to accept the meetings of the March 10th meeting.
Pat, what I think you might want to do just for the minutes is have everybody who's on is state their name so we know who's in attendance.
Absolutely, that would be wonderful. Well, okay, I'll start. I'm Patrick Blake, the chairperson.
Christine Ferno, vice chair.
Rita Hare.
Jim Duchamp.
Juliet? No, I'm just telling them that you're on the phone. Patrice Russo?
I can hear him.
Yep, okay.
Ed Vincent.
Jen Hoffer. Sorry, we're having a little background difficulty here.
That's okay.
We have chimney people. And Fred keeps coming in.
All right, is that everybody?
I think so.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. Well, great then. Can we just move on? Anyone have any comments or anything they'd like to add to the March 10th meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Patrice, you have the floor. Why don't you tell us about the COVID closure of the senior center?
So we've had a really great team. Our town administrator, we had a great team put together for the EOC, Chief Vincent, the police chief, and John Ferno, the highway department, the board of selectmen, Kevin Morse, Susan Kane, Lisa Freeman, and a lot of other people that have come in and out for input. So when that was enacted, we closed the senior center on March 16th. And I was reassigned as the section chief in charge of community food outreach program. So we started making meals out of St. Dennis Church, I believe on April 6th. Myself and Jennifer and Sandy, and we had about 85 people signed up for it. The reasoning for that was because, unfortunately, we couldn't sign any of our seniors up for Tri-Valley's food unless they needed other services. And when the COVID hit Riddlebrook, we were worried about everybody in that community having to leave their homes. So we kind of set up food for them, food delivery, and laundry services were done. And so that way there they could kind of stay in place and not have to worry about being in any of the communal places over at Riddlebrook. So we did that, and we did Easter dinner, and we had a lot of seniors sign up. I think we had like 88 seniors on our program when we ended up mingling with the school and cafeteria, and then working with them to provide meals. So we've been providing meals since April 16th for the community as a whole. Bill Cundiff, the town engineer, is on my team, and he was able to set up a website and a link for people to go to and sign up. And it was open to any resident, student, or senior in town that felt like they needed food during this time. So it's been quite an experience. To date, we've made 23,154 meals.
A lot.
The community donated almost $8,500 towards the program. And it's been an interesting working experience, but it's been a lot of fun. So that's kind of what we've been doing. We also immediately started reaching out to every senior in town we went with the 85 plus, then we went to 80, 75, 70. We had an emergency book that only had a couple of hundred people in it that we had started, the chief and I, God, probably a decade ago. And people voluntarily signed up. And if we had a power outage or a natural disaster or any kind of emergency in town, we could reach out to these seniors and make sure that they had everything they needed. Obviously, nobody in the world was prepared, and we weren't as prepared as we had hoped to be. So with the help of Justin and all of his staff at the library, Janice Cahill, all of my staff, we were able to reach out to 1,985 seniors in town, and now we have a master spreadsheet. So we know who needs food, we know who's on certain medications, we know who the most vulnerable people are. And that's what we were kind of busy doing for the first maybe 3 weeks of March. And all of those things are now set into place. We've delivered masks to people, gloves, other items that they needed, prescriptions. So we have a really good program in place now. And like I said, it was, due to the EOC and our town administrator and our police and fire chiefs, and kind of coming up with what we would need in place and how to enact it and then how to keep it going. So I have to say that Douglas has done a stellar job. Representative McKenna would like our book when we're all finished with it, because our town did exceptional because of our leadership, and other towns fell a little bit short, especially when it came to the seniors.
That's great. Wow, what a great job you guys did.
We also received food boxes from Elder Services. It was coordinated through Tri-Valley. It was a little bit of confusion because we weren't sure when they were coming, and then they gave us like a minute's notice to call 100 people that were signed up to get the boxes. They had chicken and they had cheese, and the fire chief, we used his parking lot. Christine Furno was quick to run up and help us, and Lori Burrows was also present, and my staff, to be able to hand out the boxes and then deliver them around town to anybody who couldn't come and get them. So we have another shipment coming. They only give us a couple of days notice. I hope it's going to be a little bit more organized on the end of them communicating with us when we're actually going to get it, because they let us know 2 days before, then they canceled it, then they rescheduled it, then they showed up 4 hours early. So it was a lot of scrambling to get that done, but we managed to achieve it. Everybody got the food, so we were able to do that.
That's great. Great job. Great job. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, then, just want to skip to number 5 then, the report of bills and vouchers.
Yep, the only thing that I've had, because most of our stuff for the community outreach program, all of that has been under the COVID or under the town in a different way, but I did a phone bill. I did put an order into WB Mason. We were under the impression that we were going to be able to carry over the grant, and then on June 1st, we were told we could not. So I did have about $3,600 left in the grant, because that would have been used for all my exercise programs that we haven't been running. So
Yeah.
I reallocated all of that with Emmett Schmarsgo over at the Executive Office of Elder Affairs, and we put it towards PPE. So I purchased 2 air filtration systems, not because of COVID, but because they keep the allergies down, and we're in basement. We figured that would be a good use of the money for, the quality of the air. I have purchased a lot of stickers and spacing things, a lot of automatic hand sanitizers, and all of that stuff is coming in kind of now as we speak. I purchased quite a few hundred masks. We were allowed to do anything that we wanted to for PPE. I also got a UV box to be able to put in paintbrushes, pens, bingo cards in the future if we open. It's questionable, but at least we will have the right things in place. Sandy and Jennifer and I stripped the whole senior center on last Friday. We put everything into the exercise room. The exercise room is too small to be able to do anything in. We can't social distance in that smaller room. We took away all the cloth chairs, all the puzzles, all the books, all the magazines, all the movies, things that people share. That was all put into one room, and then we opened up the main room for maybe I'm thinking painting, yoga, osteo, and bingo in very small groups. We could social space in there. The town hall gym, we are hoping to be able to use for line dancing and Zumba, because they're more high impact. So I'm trying to put together, as soon as I find out from the state when we maybe potentially could reopen our doors, a policy to be able to use. I did order thermal imaging thermometers so that we could do that. So we're trying to do everything we can to possibly keep everybody safe and, you know, do the best that we can. I did talk to Lori, and she said that she didn't feel that we're in any kind of phase right now. Nobody's talking about when they're opening their centers up. Obviously, we deal with the most vulnerable population, and nobody really wants COVID to whip through their centers. So we did put some exercise programs up on cable. Pat was quick to do that for us. We do have Tai Chi. We do have Zumba. So I know that some of the, you know, the seniors are anxious to get back. But what the new normal means is probably just staggering people in and out, maybe only having 10 people at a time, and doing very small amounts of things if and when we can open. And as of this point, I do not have any opening date from the state. And depending on what phase we go forward or backwards to is kind of going to depend on us. So I'm trying to come up with, like, I have plan A and B. Now I'm trying to work on C and D to try to figure out, you know, what else we can use for a space. It's going to be too hot to exercise outside at this point. So
Yeah, it's tough, very tough.
yeah.
Mm.
I'm
So
open to
any-
any suggestions.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's hard. It's hard. You don't have any guidance, and the social distancing, you know, thing is going to really affect your numbers. I mean, there's only so many people you can put per square footage of that little senior center, you know?
Right. That's why we emptied the main room out, and we
Yeah.
took down all the tables and chairs. So it is a big enough space that I could put probably 8 or 9 people in there at a time. But I don't know how people are going to exercise in masks.
True, true. And how many people do you have on a usual day in those rooms?
Oh, they're full. So we could
Yeah.
have anywhere from 50 to 70 people, depending on what we're doing. You know?
Exactly. So the sad thing is you're getting about 10%.
Yeah. We're going to have to kind of pick and choose what we can do. And it's sad because we were thriving. We had one of our best winters ever. And we were thriving going into the spring. And it was kind of, you know, heartbreaking to cancel everything. And, you know, everybody's feeling the same way. And I know the seniors are getting a little restless at home. We get a lot of messages on our answer machine of they miss us, and, you know,
Yeah,
doing-
it's tough.
and kind of reach out to everybody. So
Okay. So basically we have no answers on a proposed opening date, really no guidelines for safe opening, and really not a lot of guidelines for what the smaller programs could be in terms of
Right.
number. So
Right.
really no answers.
no, I'm just trying to be proactive and be prepared and try to get things as I can. You know, the sanitizers and the wipes and the mask and all that, just to kind of stockpile a little bit in case we do, you know, get to open something.
Yeah. Hmm. All right. Anybody got any questions for Patrice about this?
Patrice, I had a quick question. Sorry. Is there any way it could be done where, like, Angie was the one who taught the osteo exercise? If they'd be willing to get videotaped and then have it put on cable at a certain time, you know, every day, or like the Zoomer instructions. That way the people that are too afraid to leave their home, that they can go on cable and kind of do it in their own living room. Is there a way that could be done, you think?
I think that we certainly can. I don't know that we would have anybody from cable to be able to video it. At this point, I'm not really sure. I can work with Pat on that. I mean, they can put anything up on the cable, no problem. So, you know, I'm not opposed to doing anything. And the senior center, nobody's been in there except for staff, very intermittently.
Right.
And so, you know, if Angie was willing to be able to come in to, you know, to do that, I think that would be really beneficial to the osteo group, especially that's been at home for months.
Right.
The last thing that we want to see is any of our seniors losing their, you know, their mobility.
Right. And also there was what, chair yoga? Was it chair yoga you guys did?
I don't know, I wasn't with that.
Gloria, you were. I did reach out to Gloria, and I know that she wouldn't be opposed to making a video for us. So I will chat with her today. We do have the Zumba one and we do have the Tai Chi, but we didn't have the chair yoga video at the time. So, but osteo is a good idea because that was a really faithful group. And I know that they're the ones that are really calling more than anybody else. So,
Mhm. So my next thing, just to bring up, Patrice, why don't you let the board know and the townspeople know about the community garden that you were doing?
oh yeah. So, again, we have these EOC meetings and our town administrator is always thinking outside the box and decided to come up with a community garden. So the highway department, John and Adam and them went up and plowed up a good spot. It's all fenced in. It's up on the pipeline, right? Is that what it is, Christine?
Yep.
Ben Tessino, who has been an exceptional volunteer and my right hand during all of this COVID things, we call him, and he had all the loom put up there. He put a porta potty up there. Adam put a lockbox on it so we can get in and out and water it. Dick Skinner, myself, Matt, our town administrator, and Jennifer went to Lovey's. Gary was great. He donated quite a few plants, and the town administrator made a donation of the plants for the town. And we planted it, and Dick Skinner's been watering it pretty much every day. Matt's gone up there to water it. And we've had quite a few volunteers that have offered to weed it when that comes. And all of the food that comes from the community garden is going to be put to the food pantry. So it'll go right back to the people in the community. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, there's so many things being done through this program. It's been exceptional. And while I'm thinking of it, thank you to Jim and Pam and all of our exceptional volunteers who have delivered meals on buses, including Christine. Kevin and Tina have been at Riddlebrook since day one. They deliver the meals over there. And we've had a great group of people that have either helped out going on the bus or have delivered meals to all the seniors in town so that they didn't have to leave their house. So it's pretty big. I mean, we were putting out 160 meals 2 times a day, 7 days a week in a 3-day period. So I think we're like 2,800 meals that are going out of that cafeteria with my lovely staff. I call them the Fab Four up at the cafeteria. They've been exceptional. Every one of them is happy and cheery and willing to work in the community, and they've done a stellar job doing the meals. Christine, you've seen it in action. It's quite.
It's something to see, something to
Yeah.
do, you know.
And I've tried to take some pictures, and Susanna's been great about putting everything up on the website. And when you see the volume of what's coming out of that kitchen,
It's
when I
crazy.
told them yesterday, I gave them their little fun fact since everything happened. I couldn't believe it. That's what they do probably in 2 school years. So, but it's really been an educational experience for me. And it's been a tremendous program for the town. And like I said, the Board of Selectmen, the town administrator, and everybody that's in those EOC meetings, working behind the scenes constantly for this town, the things that they have come up with has been just stellar. And the volunteerism has been amazing. And the donations that people have sent in, I just can't believe the generosity of the town either. So it's a nice community to work in and live in. And Douglas has certainly taken care of its own in a time where it really needed to happen. So
That's great. Wonderful. So we kind of skipped over just about, I think we were about there. Did we do the FY 2021 budget, Patrice?
we did not. So I believe that as far as the town goes, we're going to be doing a month-by-month budget. And as far as the grant goes, I'm assuming that we're going to be level funded. That's what we're hearing. So what that's going to mean, you know, as far as programs going, because a lot of my grant pays for either the newsletter, which we haven't been sending out because I haven't had anybody to put it together. It did go out in our meals that we were sending out to the seniors. And I know that Jennifer was going to put up on the website. We just put kind of fun things in it, recipes. I put a note to everybody about the community programs that were going on, things for seniors. We're going to have another one. We're going to actually mail it. It's going to go out in July. Hopefully by then I'll have more information about things. like I said, I would love to do exercise programs outside because that would be make the most sense. However, how do you do that in inclement weather, and how do you do that if it's going to be hot? You know, we could
Sure.
do maybe early morning, you know, so that I'm not sure about, and that would take up most of my grant paying for that stuff. And, you know, thinking outside the box, buying other things is not a problem because like I said, I've reallocated the money, and when I write the grant, I'll write it as I usually do. And if I have to reallocate anything, all I have to do is just email Emmett, and he always, you know, seems to be able to figure out, he can give you permission to do such. Cultural Council grant that we were awarded, I'm not sure if that's going to roll over. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to try to maybe have some kind of a concert outside, just to be able to spend the funds and let some of the seniors get together. Also at one of the big fields in town or up at the school. So maybe we'll be able to do that and spend those funds maybe in September, October, when the weather is better. So that's what I'm kind of thinking of now, because I don't want to actually lose the grant money, you know, but I'm not sure how the Cultural Council is, they're going to let us roll it over or not. So if they don't, like I said, I'm always coming up with plan A, B, C, D. So.
Patrice, what if you poll the people in the exercise classes to see if they'd be willing to go outside?
We have called most of our people, Sandy and Jennifer and myself. We have reached out to quite a few people. The seniors are definitely willing to exercise. Some of my teachers currently are unemployed, so they can't work because they're making money to be home. They can't double dip. But Amy over at Dance Sensation, who does our line dancing, was willing to do any of our classes because she could do Zumba, she could do the line dancing, and she's very talented, so I'm sure she can come up with some other fun things. Like I said, it's calling everybody, setting a plan, and then basing it on weather, which can be unpredictable. So it's not about having the space. I mean, we could really go to probably any field at any of the schools, you know what I mean? The town administrator has been very good about saying, you know, if you need to use something, let us know. And I did put in a request to use the school, and Josh Romano, the principal up there, has been stellar. So hopefully, you know, we could do that. And then you could do something and not really have to wear a mask if you're outside. So, you know, like I said, we're working on several things. It's trying to coordinate it all. But we do want to get people together, and we do want to get people out and about. So, you know, like I said, we're reaching kind of the hotter months now coming up, but if we knew we had a, you know, 8:30 in the morning before it got real hot, we might be able to do something like that. So, like I said, I was in the works with Amy over being able to do that.
Okay. All right. Anything else, folks? So I guess just, you know, we talked about staffing needs at each location. That's going to be a real challenge.
I had put in for Jennifer to be able to work 15 hours a week. I'm not sure how that's going to go in my budget. I do have the grant money, and I can use that for a part-time or per diem employee. So we would definitely have to have a staff at each location. So with the three of us, with myself, Sandy, and Jennifer, and you know, I could have a couple of volunteers helping out also. I think that we'd be able to achieve having multiple locations to do things. It's just what's going to be safe to do. You can't have more than 10 people now, right? Is that how that? Because I live in Connecticut, so I'm trying to follow all the guidelines for each state.
No.
Kent, are we still under 10 people? Oh, you're muted.
We're still under 10.
That was so you wouldn't have to hear my barking beagle.
Oh,
Yeah, still under 10, just like Pat said.
okay. Yeah, see, in Connecticut now, I think we're 25. Yeah, it constantly, like I said, I'm going between the two states trying to figure out rules, but I know even in Connecticut, they're not opening anything up that has to do with anything senior. So.
Yeah, I think our summer is going to be much like it is now, unfortunately. And the senior center probably won't be, you know, even a topic of discussion until sometime in midsummer.
Yeah.
At least from what I'm hearing.
Yeah. So, and then it's a matter of who's gonna feel safe enough to be able to come in. If we can do every single solitary thing to make it safe, but it's up to each individual person as to, make their own decision. But if I felt that people would be more apt to exercise outside. Janet Bruley, can you hear me? We can't hear her. Christine? Would your mother be willing to be outside exercising?
I can hear you.
Can you?
Okay.
She's asking you a question.
I still think that the mask still should be used even outside and not be a little difficult to be doing the exercise, because if someone coughs or sneezes unpredictable, then you're still putting yourself at risk.
Well, the thing with outside that's nice is we could do like 20 feet distancing.
Right.
More distancing than we'd be able to do inside. So, PM, you were willing to be able to exercise if we were outside, correct?
Yes,
Janet Ouliette? Yes. Would you exercise if we were outside? Yes. Janet Ouliette says yes, definitely. So I will try to work on a plan, and then if we swap it around, like I said, we make maybe the classes earlier. If I can, find a good spot to be able to exercise, and I can get Amy from Dance Sensation to teach some classes, or maybe even Angie. We have a ton of metal chairs that I could bring to any site and I could Lysol off, and we could definitely spread out to be able to do pretty much all of our exercise classes. Pat, do you have a take on that, or Chief Vincent?
I think it'd be great, if we can do it outside. I mean, the risk of spreading the disease is very minimal outside, especially where you have the airflow. I mean, you really don't need to wear masks outside. And as long as you have social distancing, it'd be fine.
Safety wise, you think that's okay?
Yeah, I just think that we would need to remember that when we're doing that stuff, that we probably want to have a defibrillator and things like that available.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Little emergency pack available should the need arise.
Yep. Okay, so, Chief, do you think that would be, should I have a detail while we're there, or just staff that's CPR trained and bring the defibrillator with us?
Yeah, I think that's all you would need. And maybe it might be something I could just go to as well, because it probably wouldn't be that long. And,
Right.
Have some ice packs and some stuff so people can hydrate too. You don't want
Yeah.
people to be overheated, and if you have an issue, then you can do something about it.
Janet, could you hear all that?
Yes.
Okay.
How are we going to manage the weights, Trace?
I would have to bring them down, and then you guys would have to probably, Janet Ouliette is asking how we would manage the weights for the classes. So everybody has their own box currently, so everybody would have to take their own box back and forth with them. And I suggested everybody would have to bring their own Gatorade or water. I don't want to have anything communal.
Mhm.
So those things we can put in place. So I will write that up. I'll talk to Amy over at Dance Sensation. I'll talk to Angie today. I will talk to the town administrator and figure out what location would be best for us. I would prefer to be on a grassy spot, probably rather than a parking lot, because I think it wouldn't be as hot if we were on the grass.
True.
So I will work out all those details today, and hopefully we can have something up and running in the next week.
That'd be great.
Okay. And Chief Vincent wants to make sure that we have, all the things on scene that we would need in case of an emergency. So. we'll-
Patrice,
Yes.
think about the town common. I'm just suggesting it
Or the
because
ball field with pictures.
the ball field has bleachers, but the town common has some nice shade trees too. And
Okay.
there's enough space for people.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely kind of think about every spot that we can in the community. Christine, do you feel okay about the exercising outside? If I can get the town administrator to agree to it?
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay, I guess we're down to number 11. Any other business anyone wants to bring up at this meeting?
Nothing to report from Sunshine Club.
Not much you can report.
No, Janet's asking if we're gonna be able to have the foot doctor. That's a negative. I probably could get Nurse Ann to do blood pressures outside. If everybody was wearing a mask, we could see about doing that. You know, because she had a big following doing blood pressures and going over medications, and where people are a little bit leery about going out and about to their doctor's appointments, and there's a lot of telehealth things going on where you're not able to really check things. Maybe that wouldn't be a bad idea. Chief, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, that'd be fine as well.
So I would try to set up Nurse Ann to do outside blood pressures, maybe even in correlation with one of the exercise classes, maybe before it. And try to set that up. But the foot doctor, no, you're gonna have to make appointments and go to him yourself.
I called, there's no answer.
Yeah, they're probably not open yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Janet, do you have anything else?
No.
Nope. Okay, Janet's good.
Okay, anyone else? All right, how about we pick a meeting date for the next one?
Let's see. Sometime maybe, do we want to skip July and go into August, or do we want to do July so we can see how we're doing with all the exercise programs and such?
It's up to you guys. I mean, unless you want to meet again just to see where we are with COVID and opening, just do a quick meeting next month.
All right,
See kind of
Christine,
where we are.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
do
I
we
think
want
July's good.
the week after 4th of July, maybe?
All right, you want to do Tuesday the 7th?
Perfect.
Okay, so we'll do it Tuesday the 7th at 9 a.m. Do a Zoom meeting.
Perfect.
Patrice, you'll let us know the passwords and how to get on and all that good stuff.
Yep, Pat is really good about setting all that up. So as soon as I give him a date, he'll have everything all set up and he'll send it over. Janet, we're gonna have another date, July 7th, okay?
July 7th.
Yep, at 9 o'clock.
Okay. Does anybody know how many cases there is in Douglas?
Right now, there's one,
One.
correct.
Right.
That's good.
We were down to 0 for about 2 or 3 days, but then we got another one.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case. It's going to go up and down.
Yep.
But it's going to be.
A lot of places don't hit 0 ever. Or haven't. So
Yeah.
I'd say we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, I guess, folks, this comes to an end for our meeting. So unless there's anything else anyone else wants to add, I guess I need a motion to adjourn until next time.
So moved.
Second.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you, everybody, and thank you for your patience with Zoom, and stay healthy, stay safe.
Bye, everybody. Stay safe.
Have a good
Thank
day,
you.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
So.